Hello, everyone. My name is Zulfiqar, and welcome to another episode of Income Investors. With me today is John Whitefoot with another exciting income pick. You can read more about what John writes on a regular basis on incomeinvestors.com. You can find the link to the website in the description below. Oil prices can certainly be volatile. In 2020, the price of a barrel of oil catered to virtually nothing in the opening days of health crisis. In early 2022, crude oil closed in at $130 per barrel. Fast forward to January of 2024, West Texas Intermediate is trading around $71 per barrel. By 25, depending on who you listen to, price of oil could either average $79 per barrel to top at around $102 per barrel. When it comes to oil and gas, it's pretty difficult to truly predict market, since there's so many outliers that could unexpectedly impact energy prices. For investors who like the idea of energy stocks, but want to avoid much of the volatility in the sector, it might make sense to look at midstream companies like today's income pick, Energy Transfer LP, traded on New York Stock Exchange under symbol ET. John?
Yeah, thanks, Mo. Yeah, you're correct. Midstream companies operate pipelines and gather or transmission facilities that transfer energy. They're basically the toll operators of the oil and gas industry, charging a fee to move oil and gas from the wellhead to refineries. Best of all, with most contracts, oil companies need to pay midstream companies whether they use their pipelines or not. And like all good toll operators, they have built-in inflation escalators too.
You know, what I find interesting is most people ignore this industry, focusing instead on more exciting business of oil exploration. But if you're ignoring pipelines, you're missing out on one of the best income investments around. So John, tell us a little bit more about what Energy Transfer does.
Well, Energy Transfer pretty much does what its name implies. It's a limited partnership with a fully integrated portfolio that serves both the domestic and international oil and gas markets. It owns and operates more than 125,000 miles of pipelines and associated infrastructure in 44 states, with a strategic footprint in all major U.S. production basins. Now, to put that 125,000 miles into perspective, that would actually circle the globe 5 times. So they have a pretty major pipeline infrastructure. Dallas, Texas-based companies, midstream operations, transport natural gas, petroleum, diesel, jet fuel, gasoline, propane, ethane, and butane. And it's also responsible for translating a lot of other things too, including 30% of all U.S. crude oil produced. Energy Transfers also exports more NGL than any other company or country, capturing approximately 20% of the world market.
And this company recently got a little bigger with $7.1 billion acquisition of Crestwood Equity Partners LP.
Yeah, back in August 2023, Energy Transfer announced plans to acquire Crestwood Equity Partners LP. And that's actually an energy company that we've profiled numerous times here at incomeinvestors.com. Crestwood's assets include gathering and processing assets located in the Williston, Delaware, and Powder River basins. And that includes 2 billion cubic feet per day of gas gathering capacity, 1.4 billion cubic feet per day of gas processing capacity, and 340,000 barrels per day of crude gathering capacity. Yeah, and in November, Energy Transfer completed the acquisition of Crestwood. The transaction is immediately accretive to distributable cash flow per unit for Energy Transfer, and adds significant cash flows from firm and long-term contracts.
And Energy Transfer's infrastructure hit new milestones in the third quarter.
Yeah, for the third quarter ended September 30th, 2023, Energy Transfer reported net income of $584 million or 15 cents per unit. Adjusted EBITDA came in at $3.54 billion versus $3.09 billion in the same prior year period. Distributable cash flow, as adjusted, was $1.99 billion compared to $1.58 billion in the third quarter of 2022. Now, during the third quarter, Energy Transfer's infrastructure continued to hit new records or milestones, with volumes increasing across most segments. This includes NGL fractionation volumes are up 9%, setting a new partnership record. NGL transportation volumes are up 14%, again, a new milestone. NGL exports were up more than 20%, another milestone. And crude transportation and terminal volumes were up 23% and 15% respectively, both of which also set new partnership records.
And I see the future looks a little brighter here. The company increases full year adjusted earnings guidance.
Yeah, for our full year 2023, Energy Transfer now expects to report adjusted EBITDA in the range of 13.5 billion and 13.6 billion. This includes the consolidated operations of Crestwood in November, December. Now, this is up from a previous guidance range of 13.1 billion to 13.4 billion, and even earlier guidance of 13.05 billion to 13.45 billion.
It also increases quarterly cash distribution again, too.
Yeah, Energy Transfer is a cash cow that provides its shareholders with reliable, growing, high-yield distribution, targeting annual distribution growth rate of 3% to 5%. In October 2023, it announced it was increasing its quarterly cash distribution from 31 cents per unit to 31.25 cents per unit. This works out to an annual distribution of $1.25 per unit for a current yield of 8.94%. Now, this represents the 8th consecutive increase to its quarterly dividend, from 0.1525 per unit in the third quarter of 2021 to 0.3125 today. For people that like math, that represents a 104.9% increase in its quarterly distribution in less than 3 years. We should find out in a couple of weeks if Energy Transfer increases its quarterly distribution for a 9th straight quarter.
In addition to growing inflation-crushing quarterly distribution, income investors can also find comfort in the company's market-trumping share price gains.
Yeah, as of this recording, Energy Transfer stock is actually up a little more than 5% over the last month, roughly 15% over the last 6 months, and 25% year over year. Now, those are big gains by any metric, but Wall Street is looking for more double-digit growth, with analysts providing a 12-month average share price forecast of $16 per share and a high estimate of $18 per share.
Thank you so much for your insights. Just to recap, Energy Transfer is a diversified midstream energy company running on all cylinders. It recently reported strong third quarter results, and it increased its full-year adjusted earnings forecast. It has a strong balance sheet and growing its infrastructure, most recently with the $7.1 billion acquisition of Crestwood, which is already helping its cash flows. The outlook for Energy Transfer remains robust, with the company benefiting from a portfolio of assets with exceptional products and geographical diversity. Its multiple segments generated balanced earnings, with no single segment responsible for more than 1/3 of its consolidated adjusted EBITDA. All of this should help continue to reward its shareholders with a reliable, growing, high-yield distributions. That's it for today, and make sure to go to incomeinvestors.com to get our free special reports on 3 income stocks to own today. One of those stocks currently has a dividend yield of 12.7%. You can find the link to incomeinvestors.com in the description below. We'll be back with more income picks soon, so stay tuned. In the meantime, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye for now.